I had to rush to the computer and just report this. Joe Biden just set the internet on fire by pardoning his son after promising multiple times not to do so. And I'm talking about a massive fire. He has started a liberal civil war.
Because I respect it as a parent. I understand why he would do it. Yeah. But I wonder to understand why lie about it for so long.
I'd stop calling it a lie.
Okay, why repeatedly say you're not going to and you do? And secondarily, for the part of this country, half of it that doesn't support Biden, doesn't know him personally, doesn't get to have phone calls, and they're just looking at a system that seems like it only benefits the people who are in power. What precedent does that set?
Well, here's what it sets. It's a precedent for all of us to open our eyes because we've elected someone who is in a similar situation, who didn't have a drug problem, who knew what he was doing, who clearly stood and said, I can do this. And he did it. So I think, for many, many reasons,
I want you to look at how Whoopi Goldberg had paused. I'm not going to rewind it because I don't think I need to force my viewers to have to watch Whoopi Goldberg say anything twice. But I will say this. Whoopi said something. She paused real quick because she said he can do it she tried to get her talking points up. She's literally live on TV trying to get her talking points together to justify Joe Biden going back on his word, pardoning Hunter Biden, which I'm going to say is open the door for January 6 pardons. Those individuals at January 6, the protesters that were not violent, it's about time to bring them the hell home.
This is very different than any other situation that we have ever dealt with.
Presidential promise to put the law.
And of course, Whoopi Goldberg does her job. She spirals out of control. She does the propaganda. She creates narratives to help the democratic institution, but harms the American citizens. Here I come getting tongue twisted. So I want you guys to understand that this next part of the video that I'm showing right here, here's a compilation put together showing Democrats saying how Joe Biden would not pardon Hunter Biden because he's an honorable man. He's a just president. And we all know Uncle Joe would never do that, right? Jim Crow Joe would never, ever, ever go back on his words. I mean, they're Democrats. They're the most honest politicians of all time. They don't go back on their words. We can take their words and we can bet our life on it. That's what they want us to believe. So let's just look back. I don't need much of your time. Let's just look back for a second and see exactly what they said about Joe Biden pardoning Hunter Biden.
Before a family.
I said I abide by the jury decision. I will do that, and I will not pardon him.
Letting the world know that he will not wipe away the decision of 12 of his son's peers.
Was asked directly, and he has said he wouldn't pardon his son if he gets convicted.
Let's wait and see what happens if he loses.
Yeah, but he said it.
He's going to get pardoned by his dad. There's no question about that.
The president has ruled out pardoning his son.
Major commitment from the president, accepting the outcome of the trial and also pledging not to pardon his son.
So the challenge for him is really to continue to live up to his values when it was really personal, and he did that today.
It seems like a pretty normal, straightforward answer, but it takes new weight when we see what Trump is saying about the outcome of his trial, what we're hearing from other Republicans who say they don't accept the jury's verdict here in New York.
The contrast is profound. To sit there and say, well, I'm not going to intervene in the legal process, and I wouldn't pardon my son. One side, Democrats and Joe Biden protecting the justice system. And on the other, Republicans and Trump protecting Trump.
A current president.
Hold on. Oh my God, I just love this. Are you guys loving this as much as me? I hope so. Am I the only person that get this excited about politics? Maybe I've always been a nerd. But look, so they're saying that Joe Biden was protecting the DOJ, the justice system, and protecting justice of America, and Republicans were only protecting Trump. What the HE double hockey sticks can they say right now that he's just protected his son, not the DOJ and not American politics? He sits here and says his son was wrongfully targeted. Joe Biden claimed that his son was wrongfully targeted. Nigga, it's the president's son. You sit there and try to arrest Donald Trump and you ain't even have your own shit in order. And you want to sit there and say that your son was wrongfully targeted? No, he shouldn't have been hit hard enough. There were allegations of underage BS going on that damn laptop. I'm sure some of you have seen it, regretfully. I don't understand how you can get a slap on the wrist with this. But I still don't understand how liberals can look at each other with a straight face and say that Republicans are protecting Trump. My nigga ain't getting no pardon. He's had to win fair and square. Trump had to do it the hard way. Just like a dog, Zodiac. He had to do it the absolute hardest way possible to become president of the United States. And my boy still ain't get a pardon. They had to drop their cases because they knew it was unjust. But compared to Hunter, he just got a slap on the wrist because who his pops is. This is real dystopian shit.
The United States has so much respect for the law that he has said he would not pardon his son. I mean, what, you know, again, it's all about the contrast.
President Biden saying, I will respect whatever this jury decides, versus Donald Trump after he was convicted on 34 counts, saying the entire system is rigged against him.
Their latest attack has been that Joe Biden has politicized and weaponized the DOJ, right? That was the whole argument around Donald Trump's conviction. And this week, of course, Hunter Biden was found guilty, and Joe Biden has very clearly said he would not pardon his son, he would not commute his sentence. How stark is this difference? I mean, how can Republicans keep making this argument now that Joe Biden has really put it out there? Where's Hunter? And he stood there in a courtroom, flanked by his family, and he's accepted his sentence.
He is not pardoning his son, which he could do. These are federal charges. Right. He is not doing that. He is not doing it because he is living what it means to have a rule of law in this country. Yeah. And it isn't, I mean, if you want to know if he believes it, you could actually see what is happening with his own son.
The president, Anderson, has been really clear that he is going to accept the outcome of the trial no matter what happens. So
I'm enjoying this way too much. These people are the most hypocritical people on earth. These are the same people telling us that we need to increase our censorship on what we believe. When these individuals are when they have the chance to be held accountable for the things that they do, they get the slap on the wrist. And they're sitting here at the TV screen persecuting regular Christian conservatives. This is our media think tank. These are our media pieces. They give a slap on the wrist to each other. I see Keith Olbermann right now on my phone talking about Hunter Biden has been, man, you probably can't even see it. Talking about Hunter Biden has been pardoned. Now it's time to pardon other individuals. What the hell has gotten wrong with these people? He's talking about 10,000 pardons at least. Bro, what has happened to this party? How can they sit here and look in our faces through this compilation and tell us, oh, it won't happen. He cares more about the law. And then you have these numbnuts like Keith Olbermann come out of nowhere and stress how we need more pardons to prevent Trump from rightfully coming after these people that came after them. Liberals are the type of people, I'm sorry, not liberals. Liberal politicians are the type of people to slap you in your damn face and then apologize and get mad at you for not accepting the apology. Nigga, you slapped me. I'm not going to forgive you. It's over with. And that's where we're at with this political system. It's over with. You slapped us all in the face. We're not going to move on. Arrest Hunter Biden. We're not going to move on from this. This is not cool. We cannot accept this.
Joe Biden's gotten asked about, talking about law and order. He's gotten asked if he would pardon his son. He has said no. On the other side, you've got Donald Trump, who has said that he will pardon the January 6th insurrectionists. Yeah. They're not even his sons. They're just sons of bitches.
Washington said, I am not running again because he understood the self-restraint was absolutely essential to this country so you don't have a king. He did not pardon his son. He did not order the Department of Justice to say, don't prosecute my son. So impressive.
Could have ordered the Justice Department to halt the prosecution of Hunter Biden, according to this court. Everyone understands he's a decent man.
I think Joe Biden has a chance here to stand up for the rule of law, to say the law is the law, no matter who it is, no matter if it's Trump or Biden. And remember, part of Trumpism's dangerousness is that it tears down institutions, important institutions of our democracy. So there's an opportunity here for Biden to say, the jury found him guilty. This is how it's supposed to work. Period, paragraph. And
hey, the more I'm seeing this, the more I'm feeling like January 6ers, they need to come to hell home. Like I said it before, but like, bro, just look at what they're saying. They're stressing that because this president had so much respect for the law that he would refuse to get involved in the law to pardon his own son. We know that is false now that he's pardoned Hunter Biden. So what comes next? They've set the precedent for the pardons. Because what are they going to say when we pardon J6s? What are they going to say? This man is on camera with with women that we cannot confirm their ages, doing drugs from taxpayer dollars, laundering money through Ukraine. They've set a precedent for Donald J. Trump to release the J6 prisoners. I tell you what, I have a great feeling that them boys coming home, including on Polymarket. Did you guys know their odds went up by 180% of Donald Trump pardoning the J6 protesters after this fiasco with Joe Biden and Hunter?
End of story.
Have you ruled out a pardon for your son?
Yes.
As I said last week, I will accept the outcome of this case and will continue to respect the judicial process as Hunter considers an appeal. You know, the president said he won't touch it. He said he's not going to pardon his son. And it seems that Merrick Garland let it go through. How can the Justice Department be weaponized against Trump when all of that is happening?
But Democrats stand for the rule of law. Remember, law and order. And we've been saying that Trump's not above the law. Hunter Biden's not above the law. No one is above the law. And it is amazing to see the stark contrast between how Democrats handled today and how Republicans handled this whole thing over the last couple of weeks.
For years, these conservatives have been crowing about a politicized Justice Department, Biden politicizing it, and so on. What happened today? The Justice Department convicted the president's own son, his only living son. You heard the president say he would accept the outcome of the case. I know no.
He accepted the outcome, and he accepted what he had to do. And who is this cool nigga on the top left? With the faux eyes right here, with those glasses, looking like he's ready to just sell his own people out for a Democrat lie. Who is that Negro? Because he just sits here and let that other man tell lies like he want to on the MSNBC platform and don't correct him. Because obviously Joe Biden did not do what they claimed he was going to do.
No other word for that, but presidential.
Mm-hmm. He even went so far as to say he wouldn't pardon his son.
He did exactly what I said he was going to do. How did I know this, chat? This Negro did exactly what I thought he was going to do.
That's how much respect he has for the system.
The president has said that he will not pardon his son. What did you think of that?
I thought it was extraordinary. I mean, it was a moment of just moral clarity on the part of Joe Biden, and couldn't have been in starker contrast to the way Donald Trump has handled his own conviction.
He could still pardon him. He said he won't do that. All of that conduct, given that it's his son.
The more I watch this, the more it does confirm to me, and I hope to you, that liberals say things for today and hope to God they don't have to revisit it tomorrow. They done the same thing with COVID. They do the same thing with the abortion. They do the same thing with the damn migrations, our open borders. They doing the same thing with our DOJ. They will say so much stuff right here today, right now. Like, they do so much word salad. A liberal will fill up the room with all their words and all their propaganda, hoping to God that tomorrow people don't forget what they said yesterday. Time is easily the greatest enemy to a liberal narrative. Because every single time it appears that time itself is what beats liberals more than any other politician or any conservative ever could. Because it shows how hypocritical they are, how in the moment they are, how in the moment they want their viewers to be. More importantly, they want their viewers to be docile and paying attention to what's happening right here, right now, not a day sooner, not yesterday, and not tomorrow. There's a reason why they erase history, and there's a reason why they censor the present, so they can change what the future will hold.
It's kind of, we should pause for a moment and think about how unbelievable that is. In a million years, if the shoe were on the other foot and Donald Trump was facing the prospect of his son being prosecuted by a Biden, me, if I had been held over, a Biden holdover or Obama holdover prosecutor, not in a million years would that have happened. So, some of the people on the right, the people who support Donald Trump, are trying to cast this as some clever ops program.
Yeah. Hunter Biden was found guilty by a jury of his peers, just like Donald Trump, because this is our justice system at work. The divide here is stunning, and it's a great reminder that one political party remains committed to the rule.
I am loving it so much because now what it does, everything that they said, they have to eat those words. So it now is telling me, if they claiming that this was decided that one political party was better than the other, what does it mean now that we have proof that liberals actually went after Donald Trump, gave him all those felony counts, and still pardoned Hunter Biden? What does that say about their party? I'm telling you what, I'm happy as hell that Trump won, because even if you liberal, you can be real. it was going to be very unfair for conservatives. Like, not only were y'all going to be able to pardon Hunter Biden, you were going to be able to send Donald Trump to prison. Where is the fair in that? It feels like they got too powerful and the world recorrected itself because it got a little bit too unfair. It got a little bit way too unfair. And we just saved ourselves. America saved itself from a bullet, figuratively and literally, when Donald Trump turned his head and changed history that day. These people were willing to arrest Donald Trump and pardon Hunter Biden in front of every American citizen and give two rat's asses about how we felt about it. I am so thankful that they lost.
Law, and the other doesn't.
Joe Biden has already proven he's willing to stand up for the rule of law in a way that we could all never imagine Donald Trump to do.
Pretty emphatic over the last few days that he does not plan to pardon or commute his son. What that really is him saying is, I don't plan to use the powers of the office, the powers of the presidency, to provide private relief for my family. In a sense, he's staking out a pretty bright line between being, as he says, a president and a dad. And that's not just an emotional expression. He's in effect saying, I don't think that I don't have a right, even if it's legal, and God knows it must be tempting, to use this power in a way that is not available to so many other Americans facing similar kinds of struggles. There's a kind of old school, sort of flinty core to his conception of how you are to be in the system, how you are to be as a person, a moral person, and ultimately how to contend with questions of power. One of the things that anybody who spends time around Joe Biden comes to know is that he's had this long-running focus on how much he is bothered by abuses of power.
We'll accept the verdict no matter.
I really hope Americans, especially those that have been simping for the Democrat Party for a long time, is really starting to see what they think about you. Let it be your son. Let it be your daughter. You know what I'm saying? They would have made them go through every process of the DOJ and not even appoint them a damn lawyer. They would have gave them a public defender just like any other Negro. But these people, they look out for their own while they eat us all. I'm going to be real. I'm going to say something. How many times have people been in Joe Biden's house? I know that sounds creepy, whatever you can say about it. But Donald Trump, former president, future president, billionaire, mogul, has invited regular American citizens, nigga me, into his house multiple times. Allowed them to see how he lived, see his family, in his vulnerable state. Allows you to be viewed as an equal in his home. Joe Biden treats his voters like peasants. He don't bring you inside his personal home. He brings you to his White House, his place of business. He's a false leader. And if there's anything that could just show an example of what politicians truly are, it's this moment right here. This moment right here. This moment of hypocrisy. This moment of I told you so. This moment of absolute blatant disrespect to Americans that could believe anything the media says. Because they not only backed up what Joe Biden said, they guaranteed that what he said was going to be followed through. Now, if you got individuals that can guarantee something's going to be followed through on multitude of platforms, spending multi-millions of dollars to push the message, and it comes out to be false, is it a stretch to say people should be concerned about what they'll say next?
No matter what it is, and that he has ruled out pardoning his own son. Contrast that from what we hear from Donald Trump. And again, we have to underline, in no uncertain terms, President Biden saying, I will accept the outcome. I will accept what the jury decides here. That's the way our legal system works. And no, I will not pardon my own son if he is convicted.
And the contrast is so clear in terms of decency and principle and transactional guidance in terms of how you view the world.
It is still a good day for the United States that this conviction is a prime example of the way our judicial system is supposed to work. Even President Biden saying in a statement that he would respect the outcome of this case. Those words so completely contrast with what his opponent, now a convicted felon himself, continues to say about the U.S. courts.
The contrast to how Trump has behaved, how Trump has treated the rule of law. This was a good day for the system. Good day for sort of America as an example of how the rule of law should work.
President Biden told David Muir that he would absolutely accept the verdict, whatever it was, and that he would not pardon his son. regardless. And today he said the same thing in a statement. Meanwhile, Donald Trump comes out and calls the justice system completely unfair. What do you think of that contrast?
There's the contrast of two different men.
Here is Joe Biden, who has lost a son who served honorably in the armed forces, who now has basically said, I will sacrifice my surviving son's future. I will allow him to serve a prison term if that's what's determined, because that is what the rule of law demands.
The president announces that he will not pardon his son. Do you think ordinary Americans give enough thought to how this system is a miracle, a gift to...
It is so beautiful witnessing this right here. Oh my gosh, like, these people have to eat their words. You got to understand that it typically takes us 10 years to get these moments. We got it in 4. We got it in 4. And we got this beautiful compilation showing them being the hypocrites that they are, telling us things that they know just ain't true. So now, anytime that a Democrat can guarantee me something, anytime the mainstream media can tell me to trust the words of their politicians, I can just reference this video. I can just be like, man, there's a long list of you guys claiming Joe Biden wouldn't do what he clearly just did. These people don't care about getting the truth out there. And they don't even care about creating peace. They care getting out narratives that they can masquerade as a truth, that they can get people to believe with hope. People would then trust these narratives because they've seen it on too many different stations at once. They go argue with their family members that will argue with the counter narrative from something that they typically seen online or researched online. Those that believe the narrative will say, well, this person said it, this person said it, this mainstream media said it, this person said it, this person said it, this college professor said it, this political analyst said it, this judge said it, this police officer said it. When you have that much confirmation bias, you're going to live in cognitive dissonance. And that's what we see with the left. They have a absurd amount of confirmation bias because that's what the mainstream media does. They create a bias for you and then they give you false confirmations. It is a very dangerous and happy life. It's happy because when you wake up in the morning, the entire world reflects your beliefs and your views. But when you go to sleep, you have to understand that those things, those messages, the part of you that you think you are has been engineered by the Democratic machine to make you a puppet, to make you useful to them. Because as an independent thinker, you're useless to this party. They want you to regurgitate these talking points, spit them out, and forget them. Yeah, they want you to actually forget about the BS that you pushed. If they didn't want you to forget, they wouldn't be focusing on so many different stories at once. They throw a new article on us, tell us this is the greatest problem to American history. This is the greatest problem to an American threat. These news topics last for about 3 weeks to 2 months max. And then they go and tell us something else to focus on. God, how long have we been doing this? How long has this masquerade been going on? How many times do they tell us this next great story or this next great promise is something that we need to focus on and they act like it never happened again? Do you remember the Ghost of Kiev? They had a whole... God, they had someone flying a jet, they claim, in Ukraine that was the greatest warfighter of all time, the Ghost of Kiev. Motherfuckers was even creating this dude in video games. Until they found out the Ghost of Kiev was just a character in a video game. Liberals came to find out that they believed a 4chan lie that a video game character was shooting down and dominating Russian skies. This infamous Ghost of Kiev was based off a video game, and liberals pushed this person to be a hero. Sitting here in 2024, 4 years past the clown era we call 2020, Ghost of Kiev is nowhere to be seen, and liberals have yet to apologize for pushing and peddling these lies to the American public. If they don't have no integrity on a video game character from a 4chan, do you really think they're about to give us an apology about this Hunter Biden shit? I'm so ready for people, the rest of the people, to turn it off. Because obviously, at least 40 to 20% of America has turned off mainstream media. I am ready for us to get that 60%. We need to go ahead and get the last people aboard and get rid of these people and finish them where they are. End media propaganda, end the Democratic control, and create a new America to make great again. Please like, comment, subscribe on this post. Averages have been going up, as I said. Always got to say, super thankful for you guys. Loving how these going up. I'm seeing that you guys are watching the videos longer, which is telling me that you kind of prefer longer content. So I'm going to keep bringing a little bit longer content. Matter of fact, this is my longest reaction video to date. More importantly, please click the notification bell so you can stay updated. And I assure you, I do keep these coming. Look at my post history. I'm posting daily, weekends too. Weekends can't get away from me because the news don't stop. We don't. Till the next narrative be broken. Thank you guys. See you on the next one.